This Saturday, we got UFC Fight Night 135, Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. Any fight with Justin Gaethje is going to be crazy, and there's some cool prospects on this card, a couple interesting fights to look out for. All in all, okay card. Really just to tie us over until Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley in a couple weeks. So I'm going to go through and break down this card, give my picks, my predictions, and start breaking down the fights. So in the main event, you got James Vick versus Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is brutal, one of my favorite styles in MMA. He walks forward like a Terminator, uses a lot of forward pressure, never steps backwards, keeps his hands up high, whips leg kicks. He's the best leg kicker in MMA in general, in the UFC definitely. Swings leg kicks, he hits them from inside leg kicks, outside leg kicks. He'll use front leg, back leg, anything. Uses leg kicks, uses that forward pressure, gets him scared of those kicks, keeps people on their back legs so they can't lean forward into their shots, so they don't have a lot of power in their strikes. Then Justin Gaethje starts unloading overhand rights and lefts and hooks and just walks forward and is brutal. All of his fights, he's just walks forward and eats all those crazy shots and just hopes that he can out cardio and outlast his opponents, bring him into deep water, into that second, third, fourth, fifth round until they can't handle it anymore. They can't handle the leg kicks, and he'll eventually find that knockout, or they start diving in for takedowns. And he's got crazy underrated wrestling. He's a really great college wrestler, and he never uses his wrestling offensively, but defensively, anytime he starts diving for takedowns, it's in his world. He rolls out of them, and it'd be interesting to see if with these last couple of losses, if he starts to integrate a little more of that wrestling into his game, to start throwing his opponents off a little bit. It's a little too easy to read what Justin Gaethje is going to do. We know he's going to walk forward. We know he's going to throw leg kicks. We know he's going to keep his hands high on his to the right and left of his head, and when he starts getting teed off on, he'll put his head down, covers up his head, and where is he open? To knees, uppercuts, straight for strikes, anything down the middle because of the way he covers. And he tries to roll with the strikes, he tries to, duck out of the way of him, have good head movement, and he doesn't get hit a lot. He was winning his Justin Gaethje, or the Dustin Poirier fight. He was winning that Eddie Alvarez fight. He can do really well, but a little bit too predictable at that high level where those guys can catch you. So this is going to be looking to see if Justin Gaethje get back in the win column. And against James Vick, he's really, really tough. James Vick's got great kicks. He's a really good striker. He's 13-1. He's moving up in the ranks. He's number 10. He's finally getting like a higher ranked opponent. But James Vick's open to leg kicks a lot. He leaves that front leg out in the front, out in the open. He can be open to those leg kicks. He was open to him in the Beneil Dariush fight. Yeah, he tends to drop his right hand a little bit too when he starts to get tired. So I think Justin Gaethje is going to capitalize on that, get him tired, and then catch him. So I got Justin Gaethje by around 3 or 4 TKO. Next, we got Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili. Michael Johnson is a killer boxer, and Andre Fili is a new, up-and-coming, well-rounded fighter. He's MMA, he's all aspects of MMA. Great jiu-jitsu, great Muay Thai, striking, clinch game, well-rounded. But Michael Johnson's so much better of a boxer, of a straight boxer, and that leaves him open to problems. His legs can be open, his front leg leans heavy on it to throw the really strong, he's a southpaw, so powerful left hand. He can lean on that leg a lot, so he's open to those leg kicks like against Justin Gaethje. He has a really no ground game, being more of a boxer, so his wrestling's no good. He gets open to takedowns a lot. His jiu-jitsu is his biggest weakness. You saw his last fight against Darren Elkins. He was winning the whole first round until Darren Elkins got that single leg takedown, took him down, took his back, and done. Michael Johnson had nothing left. He didn't know how to defend it. He had Darren Elkins turned to the right side. He wasn't defending right. He didn't start to use any escapes. He kind of has no ground game. So if Andre Fili can take this to the ground and start using his jiu-jitsu, it's gonna win easy. But Michael Johnson hits harder than anyone else at 145 now that McGregor's gone, and is a southpaw. He's hard to read and so fast. Not that he just hits hard, it's that they're fast. When Darren Elkins would throw one overhand right, in that time he'd miss that one overhand right, Michael Johnson would land 2, 3 combos and knock him down and bust his nose open. So Michael Johnson is killer. He's got wins against Dustin Poirier. He's fought a lot of great guys. So I got Michael Johnson on this. And then next we got Courtney Casey versus Angela Hill. Angela Hill, she's kind of gone win-loss in her last few. Courtney Casey as well. Angela Hill is a busier striker. She always circling, always moving, using combos and strikes, and using that head movement. And I think she's going to be able to put it together and get Courtney Casey. She disrupts her opponents a lot and uses her superior Muay Thai kind of style striking. And Courtney Casey's kind of stiff with her punches a little bit. I think Angela Hill's going to be able to get this one. So I got Angela Hill. Then we got Jake Ellenberger versus Brian Barberena. Brian Bam Bam Barberena, we know, hits hard, knockout power, and Jake Ellenberger kind of open to knockouts in his last few fights. Jake Ellenberger's been in the game a long time and looking to get back in that win column, especially to go out with a win. So Jake's back against the wall, but Brian Barberena, I think, is just younger, got a little more in the tank. He'll be able to do it. And interesting thing, Barberena has actually beat Jake Ellenberger's brother, so avenging his brother's loss, kind of cool. Next up, you got John Moraga versus Davison Figueiredo. Davison Figueiredo, 14-0, big prospect from Brazil. Hasn't really fought anyone of like crazy good caliber, and this is gonna be an awesome test. John Moraga's ranked number 6. This is a big step up for him being ranked number 14, Davison being ranked number 14. And John Moraga has killer jiu-jitsu. His biggest weapon is going to be his right hand. You know, he's a really good striker. He's really sharp, very accurate, and just a master with that guillotine. But so is Figueiredo. His guillotine is crazy good. So fast. He's always looking for that guillotine when people start shooting takedowns on him. He throws kicks for days until people start trying to take him down. And I think this is going to be a battle of the guillotines and see who's better. You want to go for the more well-rounded John Moraga. And he says he's rebuilding himself at the UFC Performance Institute, but I'm going to go with Davison Figueiredo. I'd like to see some new blood kind of put into that division, so I'm going to go with Figueiredo by decision. Yeah. Then rounding out that main card, you got Eric Anders versus Tim Williams. Eric Anders, big prospect coming from playing football, played college football for Alabama. A lot of these football players who come in are better athletes. They're well-rounded. They're great learners. They're quick, and they can start putting together pieces of the game quickly and effectively. So Eric Anders has a couple great things going for him. He's fast, he's athletic, he hits hard, he's a southpaw, so a little bit different for people to read, and has a big, powerful left hand. He's becoming a little more well-rounded and using that great timing and those reflexes that he's kind of honed being an athlete. And I think he's going to get this one by decision. I think he's going to put Tim Williams out. He's looking to make a statement, especially losing his last fight against Lyoto Machida in a split decision, his only loss. I got Eric Anders by TKO. Then on the Fox Sports 2 card, we got James Krause versus Worley Alves. James Krause, smart, been in the game a long time. Was he 23-8? He's really well-rounded. We saw him on The Ultimate Fighter show off a lot of his skills. But Worley Alves' jiu-jitsu is so crazy. His kicks are really great, his kicks and knees, and he sets all those up because, again, like a lot of these jiu-jitsu guys, they're not afraid to be taken down because they've got the jiu-jitsu background. They can be taken down because that's where they want to be. So they just let leg kicks fly, knees, all that stuff. And Worley Alves, he hits hard. So I got Worley by submission. Then another good prospect to look out for, Corey Sandhagen versus Yuri Alcantara. Yuri Alcantara is 35-9. A lot of fights, a lot of experience, great jiu-jitsu, all well-rounded, great kicks, all that stuff. But Corey Sandhagen reminds me of Max Holloway, that new generation of MMA fighter. Switches stances a lot, uses different varieties of strikes and combos that you don't see all the time. They're learning from guys like TJ Dillashaw, Mighty Mouse, not Cody Garbrandt, Mighty Mouse, Dominic Cruz, guys like that are well-rounded and they're putting the game together. Corey's got great striking, great submission skills. He's always looking for the finish, and he's a really great ground and pound using elbows. And just, I don't know, something about his striking reminds me of Max Holloway. It's that he's always touching his opponent, switching stances, using different things, setting things up. Really smart. I got Corey Sandhagen by TKO. I think he's going to come in and show a lot of great things. Then we have another couple great prospects. Marcus Perez, 10-1, only loss against Eric Anders later on the card. Got great spins, great strikes. He's one of those new Brazilian guys, the new crop of Brazilian guys coming up. Paulo Costa, a lot of these great new Brazilian fighters. Jiu-jitsu is really good, really tall. He'll be going against a wrestler, Andrew Sanchez, who's two-time Division I wrestling champion. Andrew Sanchez's problem, he tires out. He's lost his last couple because the second, third round, he has zero gas tank. He lets it all go in the first round. If he can manage that, he may do a little bit better, but I got Marcus Perez. He's a great prospect to look out for. So look out for Marcus Perez. Then we got another prospect, Mickey Gall, trying to show what he's got against George Sullivan. George Sullivan been in the game a long time. I think Mickey said he grew up with George Sullivan being around in his local scene, so that's kind of cool. Mickey's already kind of known who George was, and he's coming in. And you know, Mickey just lost his last fight against Randy Brown, so he's gonna be really trying to show what he's got. And he said he had a bad taste in his mouth after the last fight, so we're gonna see what Mickey Gall's got. But killer jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna go with Mickey by submission. Second round probably. Then on the Fight Pass prelims, you got Joanne Calderwood versus Kalindra Faria from Brazil. Joanne Calderwood, killer jiu-jitsu or killer Muay Thai. She's a Muay Thai champion. Great kicks, strikes. She stays really busy. I'm gonna go with Joanne Calderwood with the decision. Then a fight I'm looking forward to, John Tuck versus Drew Dober. John Tuck, great jiu-jitsu and really well-rounded, used a lot of those kicks like a lot of these guys. And Drew Dober, a Muay Thai specialist with the biggest legs in the UFC. He's huge. Uses a lot of leg kicks and to soften his opponents up, and he's just a really well-rounded striker and trying to rebuild his career after he's missed weight a bunch, so he had to move up a division and kind of struggled up at 170. Now he's back down to 155, and we're gonna see how he does against John Tuck. I got Drew Dober by decision probably. John Tuck is tough, so look out for that one. And then wrapping it up, one of the best fights on the card. I don't know why it's so low on the Fight Pass prelims, but Ronnie Yaya versus Cool Hand Luke Sanders. Luke Sanders has a sharp left hand, never misses. He drops people. He's a great striker, really accurate. But Ronnie Yaya's jiu-jitsu, man, is next level, especially in this division. I feel like Ronnie Yaya is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys at 135 at total, the whole division. He's got a lot of submission wins. He's got quick back takes, moves really, really fast. Great timing on his takedowns, quick transitions. He gets those body triangles in really quick. He's calm. He looks so calm after every round. Like when he walks back to his corner, just real slow, smooth. So he's slow. He doesn't land near as many strikes, where Luke Sanders is constantly busy. He's got, 6 strikes per minute. 6 significant strikes per minute landed. So I'm gonna go with Ronnie Yaya by submission. I think he's gonna show off some great jiu-jitsu against Luke Sanders. And that's the whole card. Really killer main event with some other prospects to kind of see where they go from here. Really just tying us over for Till versus Woodley coming up in a couple weeks. So that's gonna be an awesome fight. So look out for that preview coming up, and please like and subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thanks, guys.